Hello. Now, I would like to talk to you about the effects of Donald Trump on paganism. The pagan community is full of a lot of young eclectic Wiccans. These are people that grab bits and pieces from many different religious beliefs, different philosophies, and they put them together to form their own unique spiritual belief system. And I have been critical on this for years now, and the reason why has unfortunately came true. Now, on Facebook and YouTube, I have been seeing a lot of emails, a lot of posts, a lot of YouTube videos about people who have been devastated. They're crying, they're confused, they don't know what to do, they're falling apart. I have had people who are light workers, who say that they are working at a higher frequency. They preach the harm none concept of Wicca. They try to say that it's dogmatic and it should be imposed on all pagans. They also talk about shunning negativity, because this is one of their aspects. Don't let negativity in your life, walk away from it. And now all of a sudden everything's falling apart for them. Now, you can't shun this. Donald Trump is unfortunately the president-elect. And because you can't just shun and walk away from it, a lot of these people that are light workers, that are white witches and all that, they can't contemplate this because they're so young, they're so inexperienced. And we have been lucky. We have had 8 years of President Barack Obama. And while he's not the perfect president, he's been pretty darn good for us. He was a constitutional lawyer, so he understands what our rights are. He was a good president, no doubt about that. A lot of the young pagans out there are under 30 years old, and so most of these people that I'm referring to never experienced President Bush. They were under their parents' care. They were in the protection of their family home while Bush was president. And, when they came out, Obama was president. And, 8 years is a long time. And I see it like a lot of these 23, 25-year-old eclectic Wiccans out there promoting their videos and all that. And they're having a hard time right now. One of the things that I talk about is being experienced. We have all these young ladies, mostly, I'm not trying to be racist here, I mean sexist here, but there's a lot more YouTube female pagans than male pagans, okay? A lot of you keep on saying how you know this, you know that, you've read books, you have all this information, you've experienced some rituals and all that, so you're this amazing person, so you can read some books. That's fine, that's great, we do need to learn. But the information that you get from these books here forms like this pile of Play-Doh or mashed potatoes, however you want to say it. It does not have shape. Okay, it is our experiences that we have in life that give us shape. Okay, so I know this is going to sound very insulting, but you cannot go and say that you're a 19-year-old, you've read 40 books, and so you have all this knowledge, you are ready to lead a coven, because you don't have the experiences of life, the hardships, the joys, the tasks, the surprises. You don't have those. And so all your knowledge has no shape. The person I am today is because of my experiences. And a lot of you will probably think that, yeah, I've had some rough times in my life, and I have. And that's what shaped me into the person I am. At work, I tell everybody the most important rule is DTA. Don't trust anyone. Okay? And I know that sounds rather negative, but it's self-preservation. It is given power to yourself. You're not depending on others. You are forcing yourself to be the better person, to be the stronger person. And so it's a good thing in many ways. So a lot of you need to stop and reflect on what experiences you have had compared to people like me. I'm 47 years old. I have a lot of experiences. There are a lot of things in life that people need to experience before they think that they are a crone, a sage, or, now, one of the analogies that I have used is the quilt, saying that eclectic Wiccan is patchwork quilt. It has different fabrics, different qualities, and people are trying to make that work together. And when the weather is nice out, yes, it works and all that. You got your fabrics. You got silk, you got corduroy, leather, your cotton woolen blends, polyester. You got tulle, which is like your veils for for weddings. It's very fine. It's very delicate also. And people are making all these different fabrics, but each fabric represents a different belief system. And they're trying to make this wonderful quilt. Well, the sad part is, in great weather, yeah, it works fine. There's nothing testing it. But we just got Trump elected as president of the United States. All of a sudden, there's a storm on the horizon. The winds are picking up. And that quilt, that patchwork quilt, is now finally being tested. Those people that use tulle, something that's very light-hearted, it's pretty, but not that strong, well, that wind's tearing it apart. And when one part of the quilt is destroyed, it stresses out the next. And so you have a cascade effect. All of a sudden, somebody's religious beliefs, their spiritual beliefs, which was great and strong, not being tested, all of a sudden are being tested. And they're falling apart. And that's why I keep on telling people, please don't do this patchwork picking, this cherry pick from here, that cherry pick from there, finding all the sugar-coated aspects of all these different beliefs and throwing them together. Because you're missing so much. Sometimes we need the bad part, the dark part of a religious aspect to balance out our belief systems. And it is my opinion that a lot of eclectic Wiccans are missing that. But we have these white workers, these white magic workers who say they're white witches and stuff. All of a sudden being devastated, they're being negative, they're crying, they're saying everything is terrible. They're falling apart. And why? Because they have this idea that all you have to do is shun negativity. You can just push it aside. Don't deal with it. Walk away from it. Don't deal with this negativity. And it's bullcrap, because a lot of these people are so young. They lack experiences. And if you were like a 23-year-old eclectic Wiccan right now, you have just gotten done experiencing 8 years of Obama. Obama is a wonderful president. Not perfect, but he's been a wonderful president. We have had a lot more safety with Obama in the White House. And now we're going to the exact opposite. Whereas Obama was wonderful, Trump is a terror. And so you can't shun this. And so they're falling apart. One of the other things that I've been telling people is that you can't shun negativity. Nature is brutal. It's beautiful, but brutal. And so you must learn to cope with, deal, and accept some of the negativities out there and work at it, work through it. You gain strength by overcoming the darkness, the negativity, than you do running away from it. Okay? They can't handle this. We have so many people that are going in the streets crying and fighting. It's terrible. And that's because people have gotten spoiled because of Obama has been so, like I said, he's been a wonderful president. Not perfect, but pretty wonderful. I teach the way of the warrior. Yeah, my sword. Okay. I understand the brutality of life and nature. But I've also survived the bushes, okay? You know, where they were going faith-based initiative systems and all that. So for all of you eclectic Wiccans out there, if your beliefs are falling apart because Trump got elected, there's something wrong with your belief system. It's missing something. So before you go any further, sit down, look and read, research all of the stuff that you patchworked together and find out what pieces were missing, okay? Because those missing pieces are the problem. My belief system isn't falling apart. I know that I'm going to have to draw a line in the sand. I know I'm going to have my defenses up. But I will survive. I will get through this. And so many of you can get strong and get through this. But you cannot have this mentality that it's shun negativity and just walk away from it. Because you can't shun Donald Trump. You can't shun so much of this. You have to learn to stand up and fight it. You have to learn to stand up and figure it out. You must face the negativities, not just shun them. The Wiccan Read talks about harming none. And there are a lot of people out there that say harm none. Well, like I said, I've seen all these videos and posts and such. And there were people that were claiming to be light workers that were saying harm none, condemning me because I have a witch warrior aspect. Here's my beautiful little sword. And condemn me because I'm negative, because I have a warrior aspect. I am out to hurt people. I'm out to attack people. All of a sudden, these same people are talking about buying a gun. Harm none when the weather's great, but storm's coming out, better pull out the sidearm. This is a spiritual tool. Now, a sword can be used to attack somebody. Yes, that's true. But it also can be used to defend, to deflect attacks. Okay. When I work with my sword in spiritual work, I'm sending out protective, defensive energies out to protect what is important to me. Same thing with my shield. So just because I have a warrior influence into my belief system doesn't mean that I'm a negative, bad person. It just means I am protective of what I find sacred. I understand that nature isn't peaceful, beautiful. It is brutal at times. And it is this brutality that makes you value life, that makes you see things in a different manner. There's all these life cycles out there, and you have to realize that for something to live, something must die, and all that. And there's all these cycles and patterns and all that. It can be confusing, but it can be beautiful at the same time. And so I understand that in my experiences. like I said, I have experienced the Bushes. And there was the faith-based initiative system for schooling and all that. In Iowa, they tried to pass some of those religious freedom acts, basically where a business can refuse service because of your religious beliefs. So because I'm not Christian, if I go to a store, they could say they don't have to serve me because I'm offending them by just being in their store. You know, I had to face that type of negativity. Many of you young ones haven't. And that's what shapes me. That's why we fight. Okay, so everybody, I know this isn't the most popular video, and I'm probably going to get a lot of thumbs down with it. But I want you to reflect on what I have to say, you know, big picture. Okay, because that's what's important here. I am not trying to insult your beliefs. You can believe whatever you want, but make sure that there is a solid framework to protect you, because your religious beliefs are there to help guide you through the hard times. They're not there just for the good times, the happy times, and oh, everything's wonderful. It's when the storms come through in life that it's supposed to help you. I mean, that's why I tell people to have the code of ethics and everything, because I'm trying to make you into a strong person. And that is what's important, for you to get through the storms of life, and when they have passed, be a stronger, better person. So everybody, take care. Be at peace.